The last time
Irene, good
our
morning.
car got kissed. Boom.
Last night,
Terrible.
long time never kiss already, I guess. Okay,
Ah,
okay.
then I have
Live
to go to
streaming
the police.
already, oh.
Oh, okay.
Just live stream already.
All right.
Okay.
Can start now.
Yeah.
Warm welcome to our boat masters, Brother Huang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session today. Today, I would like to share forbearance, the best driving force for spiritual practice, excerpted from Master Ching Yen's speech, Heartwarming Dialogue with Jingsi Abode Pure Practitioners on 28 April 2025. To be free from conflict with others, free from contention over matters, and free from struggles with the world. This is forbearance. No matter how great the pressure, do not resist or retaliate. Face it steadily without complaint. Hold your tongue and bear it with patience. When one cries out under oppression, it often invites even more aggression. But to endure hardship and remain patient, this is the best motivation for spiritual cultivation. As the trials we face in past lives have shaped who we are today, to build something strong and secure, one must withstand wear and hardship. Just as glass must go through intense heat before it becomes clear and complete. Excerpted by Sister Su Ching, Singapore. Now let us send our sincere prayers into 10 directions. May the Saha land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness. Let me stop share for a while because I didn't share sound. I am so sorry for this right now. All right.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart,
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in the world. Together we pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our book masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gem. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise. Palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved abode masters who could join us today. Okay, today we will have Brother Johan, Master Huang, and Brother Johan, who will be sharing with us. So exciting lineup. But before that, let me share the summary from last week. Okay, we had 3 speakers as well last week. And the first was Brother Johan. As usual, he recaps the various sections of chapter 1 of the Sutra of Infinite Meaning. So first section is the 10,000 first section is the 10,000 gather. 10,000 stood before the sage, calm and still, prepared for truth that time itself would fulfill. Section 2, Bodhisattvas of all lands. 80,000 came with hearts brave and wide, all castes, all kinds with none to hide. Section 3, Attaining Great Wisdom. To learn all Dharma, minds must stay aware, with open hearts to listen, feel, and care. Section 4, 12 Links of Truth. The cause and effect of all that appears, unraveled slowly through wisdom, not fears. Section 5, Becoming the Teacher. Disciples must now lead others on the way, turning from seekers to guides without delay. Section 6, The Arhat's Path. Even Arhats came from backgrounds flawed and deep. Perfect or not, they awakened from sleep. Section 7, One Voice in Praise. With unified voice, they offered their chant, preparing the mind, not saying I can't. Section 8, The Lord of Sages. No stain clung to him, not even a trace. The Buddha moved through time with silent pace. And section 9, which was the main topic of last week's sharing, Beyond Existence and Non-Existence. Neither form nor void, the Buddha took no side. He came by vow, not karma's right. Not born from cause nor pulled by fate, he taught the truth before it's too late. The world debates if a problem's even there, but truth lies deeper than who, when, or where. Don't chase the shadow, look at the flame. Ask what we learn, not who is to blame. The law is firm like time or flight, yet vow and grit can bend the night. We're in the stream, but can still steer, not swept away if we hold truth near. Not chained by age, nor held by the tide, we shape the path with each step we stride. Like gravity tamed by wings of will, your vow can lift what fate can't kill. The Buddha showed how choice can rise. Even in storms, the heart flies. We praise not the Buddha, but truth that lives, that through great vows the spirit gives. Okay, then we have Sister Hui Yi, who spoke about the interrelation of virus to animals and human, and that is the basis of the zoonotic diseases. Sister Hui Yi came today dressed in her uniform with pride, to speak as an educator with insight as her guide. From 1518, major disease has haunted every age and land. The flu of 1556 left death lines none could withstand. Spanish flu in 1918 struck hard, 25 million gone. It ended the Great War, though the cost was far too long. The Asian flu in 1957 killed 2 million in its storm, and in 1968, Hong Kong flu took lives despite the norm. With vaccines, we saw hope rise, though not without a fight. Yet swine flu kept mutating, hiding just out of sight. Ebola, rabies, monkeypox, they've come in steady waves. New viruses from animals escaped their forested graves. Nipah from pigs who ate bad droppings left behind. SARS, MERS, then COVID, each mutation well designed. Culling became the only way to stop a virus's plan, to block its chance to mutate while still inside a man. 2 million die each year from animals we confine. As forests fall for meat, disease walks a deadly line. Frozen earth, all viruses are waking with a chill, and disease X is lurking, ready for its kill. Zoonotic hosts are many: pigs, bats, cows, and fleas. Some show no symptoms, yet still spread the dread disease. 1 in 4 are hit, the numbers hard to ignore, far worse than accidents, diabetes, and more. 75% of disease is zoonotic in trace, 60% of all infections from an animal place. Still, we're not all sick. Some stand immune and tall. Through lifestyle, gut care, and diet, we can stall. Vegetarian diets help reduce both risk and pain. More veggie, more fiber, that's how health we gain. Our gut holds more immune cells, the first line of defense. So feed it well with plants in meals that make good sense. In 2024, results from a study showed veggies keep you strong. Fewer symptoms, faster healing, even when things go wrong. Bad microbes thrive on meat, good ones live on greens. Health begins at dinner. That's what science means. Change begins with choices made at the dining seats. As a Ching Su aphorism says, save yourself and others as you eat. The next pandemic will arrive. We just don't know the day. But better choices now may keep the threat at bay. Okay, then we had Brother Chong from Singapore. Brother Chong came from Malaysia, his roots held deep. Johan's flood in March this year left his family to weep. In Singapore's heat, the sun scorches high and wide, while glaciers melt, a problem that we can no longer hide. Global warming climbs from 2.6 degrees to near 5. And nature struggles hard to just stay alive. Too many greenhouse gases wrap Earth in tight heat. With balance undone, life retreats in defeat. CO2 makes up most of the warming cloud, with methane and nitrous in the toxic shroud. The Paris Climate Agreement hoped for a warming cap so small, but now the climate clock ticks louder for all. Coral reefs fade, oceans rise, lands dry out. Our food choices matter, of that there is no doubt. 1/4 of emissions from our meals arise, with beef and lamb at the top polluting price. Eat local, skip meat, help cut the excess load. Less packaging, more reuse, lighten the load. Ugly food still feeds. Don't let looks deceive. Repurpose scrap, let nothing wastefully leave. Compost leftover, support your local farm. Every small step can do meaningful harm. A vegan cuts annual CO2 tons emissions down to just 0.9, compared to 4.1 when meat's on the line. So bring your lunchbox, shop with mindful care. Each conscious step helps clean the earth we share. Okay, Kan for listening. That's all. Sorry, so long. So much info. Over to you, Sister
Kan-en. Kan-en so much, Sister Su Ching, for that beautiful poetic review of last Saturday's session and the learnings presented by our sharers. A very good morning to brothers and sisters. Welcome back to our weekly Saturday Hualien Dharma sharing. And today, again, we are very, very blessed to be able to have Brother Joe, to guide us with his deeper insights into the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. Over to you, Brother Johan. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Sister Stephanie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to our weekly session. It's actually one of the highlights for every week, where we're able to listen to the recitation and the reviews of every week in beautiful poetic form. And Sister Su Ching has been away for a couple of weeks now, and now is coming back. So welcome back. We always remember the beginning where the poem reviews were presented, and many thanks to Sister Moon for providing the recitation before. Okay, so I'm sure that last Sunday we've all had our wonderful Mother's Day and the celebration, as well as Tzu Chi Day and Buddha's birthday celebration. And it was indeed something that I believe that every year it has been, I think, something of a cleansing of our hearts and cleansing of our mind. And hopefully, maybe there was some few drops of rain, and that allowed us to freshen up the air. Hopefully, it's not too much of a rain, but just enough. Recently, I think in Taiwan, there's going to be a storm front coming through, and it's going to bring a lot of rain. But we're fortunate that last Sunday, in our ceremony in Hualien, it was actually very, very dry. Dry in terms of no raining, but it was raining up until 2 minutes before everybody go online. So I think it was very good affinity. So I hope everybody had a good weekend, and also had a wonderful Mother's Day celebration. So let's now continue on to our weekly review. As I always like to mention, that the Sutra of Infinite Meaning review, we've been doing this for 30 some weeks now. And the effect of it is we're going tremendously slow. I mean, the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is not long at all, but we're continuing and trying to build on to each part. And the reason being that we're not in a speed race, but we want to make sure that that we're making progress based on a very solid foundation of knowing where we are and knowing what this is. And we've been going for a while now, and the topic hasn't changed much. So all these were the sections that we've gone through, and we're still in chapter 1. We're still in virtues, though we are heading to the end. The end is soon for chapter 1. So going through all these, once again, I always like to bring out, because just like every time Master opens another sutra, it has always been explaining what the beginning portions of the sutra is, because that is important. We always want to remember. And there are many things that's repeated because it's making sure that we understand and we know. So one of the things about the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is that I think it is at a time of transition. It is at a time of an era of transition, of transitioning to soon to be the next chapter, which is the chapter where the Buddha is no longer with us. So what are we going to do? And I think that for the whole chapter 1 virtues, Master's teaching really laid this groundwork for us, in that the Buddha is trying to convey, and this is just the beginning, right? This beginning, isn't even, the Buddha hasn't even spoken yet, right? It's just praising. It's just telling you people coming from all over. So chapter 1, essentially, is still setting up the stage, right? That's why it takes so long, because all this setting up is pretty much telling you what was happening for the past 40 years, right? At the time of the preaching of this sutra, the Buddha has been preaching for 40 years. So all these settings, before Buddha opened the preaching on this sutra, that's what chapter 1 is, right? It's setting up the stage for where we are and where we're about to go. So that's why it's important. If we don't understand what the stage meant, then what's going to come after is going to have that much less meaning, because we're at a point where a fork in the road, where it's going to make some change, or you're going to about to make a turn into the new era. So Buddha is preparing us for this. So it's always talking about sustainable, right? What is sustainable? This is the key word, right? The hot phrase right now for our industry, any industry, or the world, is how do you be sustainable? Same thing. The Dharma has to be sustainable as well. The teachings, in order for it to continue, it has to be sustainable. And one of the things about the Dharma being sustainable is that the people needs to buy in. The people that are going to be the learners, the students, and the people that are going to be the teachers when Buddha is no longer with us. So that's the first section. The second section talks about it fits all people and all backgrounds. And I always mention this, right? Buddha is not just a religious leader. I think Buddha understands people, understands the minds of people, understands the group of people. This is what we call the study of people, the study of society. It's called sociology, that you understand the interaction between people. And Buddha's preaching tells us that all people, all sentient beings are equal. And that was 2,500 years ago, when we know that India was probably the most unequal place in the world in terms of human beings, in terms of caste. And that's what Buddha said, right? So it fits all. The Dharma fits all. The teaching fits all. It gets rid. It can help you with your problems. So, in order for all of this to happen, the students must be diligent, and they must be willing to learn and open their hearts and mind. Because at a time of transition, if you are holding hard to the past, then you are not able to be flexible enough to accept the future. And that has always been an issue, right? We always talk about industries where there's some corporation that didn't transition fast enough, and then they were slowly, kicked away. And that's going to happen. So you have to be willing to be learning, and you have to be open. You have to be open to something that might be different. Buddha is definitely giving us something, and we are needing to be open, right? And also understanding the causes and conditions. Everything rises, and as well as, anything that rises is eventually going to fall, and anything that falls is eventually going to rise. So we understand this cyclic events. And so now how do we work it? As I mentioned before, and what we're going to mention it today again, is that you understand gravity. So how do you make gravity work for you? Understanding gravity is number one. Then making gravity work for you is the other. Understanding, force equals to ma, that equation, that's number one step. And then how do you use it for your calculation, for your preparation to do something greater, right? So 12 links is that step one. Understanding the causes and conditions. Then we apply it. Then you applied it to become the guiding teacher. You understand where the sentient beings come from. Why are they afflicted? What's affecting them? Why are they doing this? Understanding the cause and condition allow us to prepare and to apply it, to understand it, to apply it, to be able to better guide the followers, the students, and everybody else. And so in order to do that, we had to understand the cause and conditions. And now the disciples and the followers of the past will eventually become the teachers of the future. And so we are presented with these examples of disciples. They're not perfect, but they're able to become the great teachers. And then we come into the last big portion, probably the entire nearly 1/3 or 1/2 of chapter 1 is the praises. So the praises are very important. So all these praises were sung by the followers and the disciples, right? So Buddha hasn't opened his mouth yet, nothing. Okay, so the first chapter is always setting the stage. That's why it takes so long, because you're essentially setting the stage for the past 40 years, right? You're setting the stage of the past 40 years. Then it's going to get into the new content, which is chapter 2. Okay, so the one attitude is very important, right? You're preparing this attitude of what you're learning, what you are doing for the future, and the praises for the great Lord of the sages and how he accomplishes no defilement, no contamination, right? And then we're moving on into section 9. And this is more it's not poetic, but it's philosophical, right? Neither existent nor non-existent, arises from neither causes nor conditions, right? So what does it mean? Well, first of all, when we talk about existence, we're talking about something that exists forever. And we know nothing lasts forever. So what does that mean by existing, right? So number one, it's telling you the problems, the afflictions, all these vices, all these things that are bad has always been there. Nobody, it's not invented. It has always been there. It's just that it never surfaced itself, right? So in the world where now the technology is prevalent, we get to see and we get to hear things that's happening thousands and thousands of miles away. We get to know that. So that means we now know this, but it doesn't mean it hasn't always been there before. It has always been there before. We just didn't know it because the technology wasn't there. So we didn't know. But now we know, because now the technology allows the information to spread very quickly. So the same thing is true for the affliction. It has always been there. If we look at the cause, the 12 links, the first of the links was affliction, right? From there, everything starts and everything cycles and everything continues. So the problem has always been there. The affliction has always been there. And all the elements that fits, that creates this affliction already exists at the same time. It's just waiting for the right moment for all these things to happen. So it has always been there. The elements already were there. And so were the answers. The Dharma has always been there too. So this part, talking about neither existent nor non-existent, it's telling you that we're not talking about something that just popped out of the thin air. It has always been there, and it will always be there. And but if you're talking about, is it existent? The answer is no. What does that mean? It means that all the elements that creates the problems has been there for the whole time, but it hasn't manifested. It hasn't formed. It hasn't surfaced. The answer, the elements for the answers has always been there too. It's waiting for the right people to say, I'm going to take A, I'm going to take B, I'm going to take C, I'm going to merge it, and it becomes the answer. But A, B, and C has always been there. It's waiting for the person to say, I'm going to take A, B, and C and cook it. And then a dish of food appears, right? So essentially it tells you that all the elements were there, it just hasn't been done yet, or it hasn't been created yet. Okay. So the key to this is not to wonder about whether it exists or not, or when it happened, when it manifested. The thing is, what do we do about it now? And what can we do about it in the future? Because it has always been there. So there's no point to explore when it happened, when it began to be there, because we can't figure out. It's out of the realm of our understanding. It's better to spend our time and our effort into fixing, well, what do we do about it now, right? So Next, the Buddha came to the world for the sake of one cause, unlike ordinary beings who are led and affected by their actions, karma, and consequences. So we talk about this. How can one escape the rule of cause and effect? And the idea is the Buddha himself did not fall outside of the cause and effect. So what does that mean? You know, the sutra says, well, the Buddha, right? Master said the Buddha came not because of the cause and effect. Well, it's only telling us, right? Did the Buddha not have to follow this rule? The answer was yes, the Buddha has to follow the rule. But it was talking about the Buddha came to the world was not due to the cause and effect. The Buddha came to the world was not pulled by the negative karma, by the debt that Buddha had to repay. The Buddha came to the world because the great vow. So last time we talked about, you know, that talked about the idea that of going to prison, right? We are going to prison not because we were sent there. We were pulled there because we committed a crime. We're going to prison because we made a vow to go to prison to help the people there understand Dharma. And we are free to go. After we finish, we're free to go because we're not locked up in the prison. And that was the whole key about Buddha came to the world on his vow, not due to affinity, right? And that means there are huge and powerful forces, right? Great vows are able to overcome, right? Overcome what was around you. The problems has always been there. The elements of problems has always been there. But there are also elements of the answer. You can make the great vow to overcome. You can make the great vow, just like we're learning, right? You understand gravity. You understand that if you jump up, you're eventually going to fall down. But we make these machineries. We make these wonderful studies about aerodynamics where it allows us to create enough lift that we're able to fly and soar into the sky. That's the huge and powerful forces. You have it too. I'm not talking about you can fly, but I'm talking about we, just like the Buddha, we have that power too, okay? So this whole section, the praise is dedicated to praise the Lord Buddha, right? But it's also a praise for the truth and the teaching. So now, continuing on to this week. So neither square nor round. Now it's continuing the sutra, right? It is neither square nor round, neither short nor long, neither appearing nor disappearing, neither arising nor ceasing. Now, once again, right, these are coming from the sutra, and it's not talking so much about the Buddha. It is a praise of the Buddha, but it is also the praise of the Dharma, of the teaching. So what does that mean? The Dharma itself is not attached to the form, okay? So it's not just saying, well, you look at it and it's a square, but it's not just a square, and it's not just a circle, right? So for example, I always use this example if we try to understand what it means. Imagine we were never able to see. Imagine we were born without eyes. So you cannot see, but you can still smell, you can still listen, and you can still taste. Now, somebody who is able to see, how is that person going to teach you what does the color red mean? Because the color red, for now, is something that we have to visualize. So someone try to teach you what red is. So what would they do? If you cannot see, what would they do? Well, one thing that comes to mind, you know, one other person would say, here's an apple, and it's a red apple. And then it would say, oh, an apple is red. So the person that's blind or not being able to see will pick up this apple and say, oh, so this is red, it's round. Well, is that the case? Well, it is the case that this apple is red, so it's round. But in other cases, when you have a brick who is also red, but it's not round. So that is how we are learning Dharma, right? Imagine all of us. We are not opening our eyes. It's like our minds are afflicted, so we're not opening our eyes. But we're using everything else to learn what Dharma is. So when we hear Buddha said something, we will attach to that. That is what the Buddha says, so that must be it. And the moment that we said that is it, we are missing out everything else that is also it. So we are denying everything else while we're clinging on to this. And that's what this is saying. The Dharma itself is neither square nor round. It's neither short nor long. It's telling you it's not just that. But if you keep on thinking it is that, then you're missing out everything else, right? So that's what it means to be not attached to form. And not appearing nor disappearing is telling you, or not arising or ceasing. It's that don't just be thinking that it has to come from the Buddha. The Dharma comes from the teacher, yes, but it doesn't only come from the teacher. You can learn from your student. You can learn from your friends. You can learn the Dharma from just observing the world. So it's telling you, it's not just that. It's great that you're listening to the Buddha. It's great that you're listening to the master, but it's not just that. So this part, neither square nor round, is telling you, well, don't be attached to the form. So even though, and at first, this is all talking about the Buddha, right? That's the Buddha, but that doesn't mean that the other ones are not Buddha. Okay, so it's the same idea. You're just changing Buddha to the Dharma. And so it's a progression where I mentioned that this part is not just talking about the praises for the Buddha. It's really talking about the praises for the teaching. So don't be attached to what this is Buddha. And Master always says, right, that all the statue of the Buddha that we have seen before, does it really mean that that was how the Buddha looks like 2,500 years ago? No. We don't know how it looks like, because at the time, the people that made the statues or the people that made the drawings were already hundreds of years beyond Buddha's time. So the artists, the people that did it, will tend to use how, the person that the person that made the purchase of making the drawing, they're gonna make some resemblance, right? It's gonna look like. So don't be attached to what that has to be the Buddha, or that is not the Buddha. Rather, it's the teaching. Same thing. Don't be focused don't be attached that is the only place where knowledge and wisdom is going to come from. But rather, we could also gain wisdom from all these other things. Don't be attached to just one way of learning. Don't be attached to just one teacher. You have to actually open up. And that's what we're talking about. The students must be willing to open up their minds. And that's what this neither square nor round is talking about. So when you read through this, it's very fast, but it's telling you these things because that's exactly what people are attached to. You are attached to, this is what the Buddha said. And it almost means that if the Buddha didn't say it, if the Buddha did not say all these things, then it is not the truth. No, we just talked about it, right? The truth, the answer, the problem has always been around. It's not the Buddha that invented this. The Buddha helped us, guide us to see what is red, right? Even though our eyes are closed. So the Buddha is taking us to touch all these things that are red, to taste all these things that are red, to listen, to smell to all these things that are red. But do we really get it? No, because we can't see it. But at least we know that the red could exist on an apple, on the brick, on the red envelope, on all these things. But now we're beginning to learn that these things are red. It doesn't mean that that is red, definition of red, but it just means that we now know all these things are red. So don't be attached that red has to be only a square or a circle. Don't be attached that it has to taste a certain way, or if it's hard, or if it's soft. Don't be attached. But that is red, and that is also red. Same thing. That is Buddha, and that is also Buddha. Same thing. That is Dharma, that is also Dharma. And so that's what neither square nor round is talking about. So the truth is not about shape or the form it takes, right? It's always here. It's always been around us, right? So before we head on, because time is up, but I spent a lot of time talking about this because I think it is important. We read through this almost every day, right? Anytime you recite the Sutra of Infinite Meanings in the virtues, well, you're gonna see this and you're gonna recite it. And the moment you recite it, you just read through it. But this is where the Dharma is. And I hope that once we go through this, it gives you a much more clarity. I'm sure I'm only covering a very little bit of it, but I'm hoping that everybody with much clarity, when you read through this, we get to better and deeper resonating what the Buddha is trying to tell us. Or at least this is not what the Buddha said, but at least that's what the Sangha was saying before the preaching of the Buddha. Okay, so that's the sharing for today. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you.
感恩 so much, innumerable 感恩 to our brother Huang for sharing deeper insights into the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. It reminds me of what Brother Chin told us before. Not to remember the picture with Master's hand pointing and the finger pointing, not to be attached to the finger, but to go towards the direction that is pointed.感恩 so much once again, Brother Johan. We look forward to having you again next Saturday.感恩. So before Brother Johan, we let you go. Can we all take a group photo with Brother Joe? Brother and sisters, can we switch on our videos? 感恩. While we also await for our Huang Shifu to join us. Hey. All right. Sister Lily, would you be able to help us to take a photo?
Yes, sister.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm really grateful for this session because as we read the
1,
sutra, these are
2,
the
3.
insights that we need to know.感恩. Okay.感恩again, Brother Joe. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. So, yes, the next sharer is actually Shifu De Huang. But I see that Shifu is not here yet. But Brother Johan is already on board. So if it's all right, can we ask Brother Johan to share first? Brother Johan? Brother Johan, are you with us? Brother Johan? Okay, maybe Brother Johan is stepped away from his desk for a while. Okay, to make use of the time, actually we understand that. Okay, glad to see Master De Huang is here already with us. Master De Huang, a very good morning. Amitabha.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, yes.
Yeah,
And for joining us again, Master.
yeah, good. Good morning.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Wait, let me to show you my slide first. Yeah, how's your days? How are we, everyone? Good.
We are all safe. We are all safe, and we are all at peace.
Yeah. Okay. So this few days tomorrow we're going to make the rice dumpling for the midterm dumpling rice festival 那个端午节. So later on, I have to do the preparation to help them to do some, pre-cook the food and all those things. Okay. So let me to share you my slide. And this one first. Okay. Okay. So everyone can see my slide now?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
We're looking at your slides.
Okay. So actually, next time I will try to share on why we want to adapting vegan or vegetarian. But this time I chose this as my sharing topic is the wisdom dharma is solved in reverence. I think in Chinese is like 佛法在恭敬中求. I think maybe this is like related to what recently for the Dharma wisdom at dawn in morning we heard that in the Lotus Sutra, the chapter, the Bodhisattva never sliding, and which is like I have some story maybe related to this kind of a spirit that we never underestimated everyone, no matter it's a small person or small thing or small case. So without further ado, just let me to share. Actually, as we know that masters always say to us, like when we share one share of the respect, and we get you one share of benefits. So same to when you 2 shares of the respects, and we get you 2 shares of benefit, and the 10 shares of the respect, and you will get your 10 shares of benefit. So this is like the very firm for the karma, the causes and condition. I think this is very unchanged for this kind of a spirit. And in ancient times, as I heard, like we have the 禅宗, 六祖慧能禅师, and this time I want to share the second patriarch of the Zen school, which is the master Hui Ke. Maybe some people will say 那个达主慧克. So in ancient times, the Buddhist disciples in the past were respectful to their master, especially like the story today I'm going to share is the master Hui Ke, and he considered as recommended as a second patriarch of Zen school. Before he went to the Shaolin Temple on the Sun Mountain to seek enlightenment from the Bodhidharma, 那个法师, before he became he seek for enlightenment, and before he became a monastic. So he want to show his I have a very keen intention want to engage in the spiritual cultivation. So he went through so many difficulties because at first he was rejected by the Bodhidharma master to become a monk. But there's from days past, and then he want to show his determination and want to to be part of the monastics. And then there's a story saying that there's one day when the winters come, it's getting snowing. So in the middle of the night, and he was like nailed out on the snow, the floor, and then like a couple of days, and then just to seek for the accepted by the Bodhidharma master to adapt him as a monastic. So he want to show his determination, and then that's why he cutting off his arms, the forearms, and to show his have very keen will to learn from the teaching of the Buddha Dharma and to seek the Dharma as well. So this is the story that showing us that how to say is like the Dharma is just like kind of this kind of spirit that have the enthusiasm to seek for wisdom is have a lot of story reason in the Buddha. So and when we look back to the modern time, the modern era, that people like we all, maybe we are really too casual, and then we are so easily to get the Dharma, the sutra, the text, or the scriptures of the Buddha's teaching. So maybe we will maybe I have been joined some kind of Buddhist activities for several times. Maybe I feel like I'm become a senior, and I feel like I have arrogant, and I feel I know everything. When you're attending this kind of lecture teaching, and then you think, oh, I know very well. I know about teaching, about this teaching, and all these things, and maybe you will show us some ego. So, but for masters, you say the most basic respect is the respect between people, and it's a must. So masters say we must respect for like kind of, if you guys, the lay monastic, the lay person who pay respect to monastic, to the monk or nuns, it's just like you respect me, not respect the sangha, not because we are better than you, or because our cultivation is better than you all guys. But master say it is this is to show that your self cultivation, because you are willing to let go of your arrogance, and you let go of all those how to say, is like the egoism. Am I? Or maybe you just like try to train not to be arrogant and all these things. I think this is like we pay respect, just like the Bodhisattva never sliding. He pay respect to everyone because he believed that uh you know uh our everyone have a Buddha nature. So it's the same thing for this. And then this is show that when we want to willing to listen to people's guidance, it just show that our ego is less, and maybe our arrogance is lighter, because we willing to listen to people, and not everyone have to listen to you. So let along, like this is just like the Bodhisattva never slighting. He respectfully worshiping all sentient beings and regards all sentient beings to the Buddha. And he thought everyone can be, because he once in the sutras mentioned that I dare not despises you, and you will all become Buddha in the future. This is the attitude for all of us, especially for the practitioners, and the attitude of uh, disciples who are studying the Dharma, and who follows his master's teaching. And now I want to share one story before I go to some story related to master. And let me to share the Mahatma Gandhi, which is he was, as we know, before he become the Indian father of the country, and then the nation father, and then he was study in London before, and then and he met a white professor named Peter, who disliked him extremely. And then there's I read these articles from in Chinese. There's a mention that, and when the Gandhi he was studying law at the University of London, and the professor one day, because when the professor was having a lunch in the cafeteria, and the Gandhi took his plate and sat next to the professor, but the professor feel like uncomfortable, and he said to Gandhi, he said, "Mr. Gandhi, you don't understand. A pig and a bird will not sit together to eat." And what's the response to Gandhi? Mr. Gandhi, he look at him, look at this white professor with the eyes of a patient, to a very like a nonsense child, like and then reply calmly, saying, "Professor, you don't have to worry. I will fly away," because the white professor say a pig and a bird will not sit together to have lunch. But the Gandhi, he replied, say, "Don't worry, yeah, the bird, I will fly. You don't have to worry too much. I will fly away." So it means that the Gandhi, he thought that he is a bird, not a pig. And then after that, and then Gandhi sat at another table, and then the professor was so angry at at his first talent rate, and decided to take action, to take revenge. And then the next day, in the class, and the professor asked the students in the classroom, And the Gandhi asked him to call him up, stand up, and ask him a question. He said, if you were walking along the street and found a package with a bag of wisdom and another bag of money, which bag would you take? And the Gandhi answered without hesitation. He said, of course, I will take the bag with money. And the professor say, Mercury, and then he say, if I were you, I will take the bag with wisdom. And the Gandhi, and he was responded back. He gave the feedback to the professor. He said, everyone should take what he doesn't have. And Gandhi, he thought that at the time I need money. I don't have money, so I have wisdom, so I don't need to take wisdom. I'm short of money and take money. And the professor, it means in the other way around. It means that the way he responds politely and with the very reasonable reason, and this make me this Professor Peter had no power to fight back because in a range, and then he wrote and Eden wrote a small message to Gandhi because after that, when they have a tax paper, they have examination, and then when Gandhi passed his tax paper, handing it to the professor to mark how many grade that he get, but unfortunately, the professor he write he wrote a small sentence, and it's just saying that how to say, it's like he receiving the paper is like saying stupid, like kind of like he's saying 白痴. You mean like he write the words like ass, like stupid words. It's just two simple words on the paper without any giving any marks, to the Gandhi. And the Gandhi, he taught himself. He say after receiving this paper, and then he say that idiot, idiot, right? 白痴. And this is the word that the Professor Peter gave Gandhi. Like he never give any marks to him. And then the Gandhi, he sat back in his chair and then trying his best to restrain himself and remain calm, while thinking very seriously about his next move, what he should do. So after a few minutes passed, Gandhi walked towards to the professor and responded in a very dignified and polite tone and said, Professor Peter, you signed my test paper, but you didn't give me my grade. It means that the professor write the idiot, idiot, right? And then the Gandhi thought that this is your signature. You are writing your self name 白痴, but you never give me any grade. So I think this is kind of like sometimes when we encounter some unsmoothly things happen to us, and maybe we will try to get hatred or angry or frustrated, and maybe we will do something action that which is like not the basic humankind should have. But I think if for the wise person or wisdom person, maybe they will find a very good way solution to solve it. I think this is the like she pay respect. She used a very polite way to give a response back to the professional, but he gained wisdom because he know how to deal with this kind of situation. So I think this is similar. Now let us look back to what Master have taught us for her personal experience. And as every one of you can see, there's a book Guanyin, small Guanyin Bodhisattva statue, just that behind Masters. And then this is a story. How I want to share is like how Master should gain her wisdom Dharma from the reverence. And this is story that Master share on the video. There's an English title. Master say when the first day we have our own Jingse board. And this is the first day Master moving, and then the first day morning chanting. And Master, she encountered a very, very quite inspirations thing happened to Master. And then this is regards Master and the Guanyin Bodhisattva. Just take about 3-4 minutes to take a look at what Masters are mentioned about this story.
那个时候的佛龛里啊，的佛像是这么小一尊的观世音菩萨，看来真的很不起眼。可是呢，观世音菩萨千手千眼观世音，那众生普天之下众生啊，千次祈求千处现呐。记得那一天，我的心里是这样想，其实那一尊观世音就是我的师父印顺导师。那个时候我在盖这样的小净师堂的时刻，我师父给我了8000元，这8000元呐，我就到了台中啊，这个委托行观看呐，就看到了这一尊观世音菩萨。那是很古早的，不知道是哪一个朝代的，看了很欢喜。当然还有另外的因缘呐，所以他才能把这样的价钱一开价，他就说8000元。的确，8000元真巧合啊，不多不少，是我师父给我的8000元，就把这一尊观世音菩萨请回来了。刚好就是在这佛龛里啊，就是这么小的小小一尊。那一天一大早，第一个早上礼佛的时候，抬头一看，心里这样想啊，这么小。可是呢，我自己啊，内心一个忏悔，不能认为佛像小，因为呢，观世音菩萨千处祈求千处现呐，普天之下哪里有苦难的众生？观世音菩萨就现什么样的心啊，在当地救人，那样的心一转，就打从内心的欢喜恭敬。这就是呢，第一天我们已经有了一个自己的精舍了啦。
Okay, so just want to share that for Master, her own personal experience, and then she also act like the Bodhisattva of never sliding, because he taught us, and he herself also learned from. We cannot underestimate a small Guanyin statue. That like we have to transform the other mindset. Is like we have to learn the spirit of the Guanyin Bodhisattva. It's like, whenever there's a help, there's a need, we will go and help. Not because we are looking for the material, like we seek for the materialistic, like 物质上, but we have to seek for the spiritual cultivation. So just always like purify our hearts. When you pay reverence, you will find wisdom. So I'm not sure where you can get what I'm trying to pass the message. So this is like for masters, you also have to repent at first, because the first thought rise up when he say, "Oh, why so small for this small Guanyin statue?" But the second thought rise up, and she say she have repent, and then she learned the wisdom from this Guanyin statue. So I think because masters pay reverence and respectfully to not only human mankind, but also for the statue, which is like is a form material form, which is like no life at all. 这是有生命没有生命 but master shows a pay respect. So I think this is kind of like she never underestimated everything that encountered to her, where she encountered all this kind of scenario. So, and this is also have to share another story that which has happened to Master recently. As we know, for last year, December 25, while everyone was happy celebrating the Christmas holiday, and our Master Shangren was accidentally fell down in the Jingshi Hall in Tainan at her dormitory, the room. And then 上跌倒嘛, fell down. And then, but after Master, I read this article from our Zhao Sifu, and then she say the Rong Sifu, who always accompany, is like the Master's fellow disciple, 随师的师傅, and very senior. She was the third disciple of Master. And then the Rong Sifu, she shared to Master Zhao, she say, after our Master Shangren, she returned to the abode after the long trip journey outside, and especially she fell down and have some, uncomfortable condition. And then now, Master, she could no longer kneel down to worship the Buddha at her study room. And Master's study room, there's a small altar who offering the Buddha statue. And Masters every day she will do worshiping. But now Masters, she cannot kneel down, 没办法跪下 after worshiping the Buddha. And then Master, she needs someone to help her, to support her, and to slowly to stand up when she, do her prostration to the Buddha, pay her respect. And 就是上人很辛苦，上来或是跪拜这样。So, and our Master Derong advised Sangren, saying, Master, now that your condition like this, I think it's better for you not to wear the Mahayana Buddhism robe with the chanting, the proper chanting, which is with the jiasa. Is it possible for Master to just wear without jiasa, just wear the haiqing? There's two different kind of things, right? There's the Mahayana robe for the Buddhism. But Master ignored her advice, and then Master still insists one to wear the proper Buddhist Mahayana robe and pay her respect, even though she was, in a very uncomfortable condition. But Master still insists one to do her sincerity prostration to the Buddha, and then wearing the proper robe for this Mahayana robe. And then this is she still insists on the worshiping every day, and then every day, and wearing as usual the proper robe as usual. I think this is in accordance with the rules and the etiquette, which is to show the highest respect for the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, 佛法. And then Master, she also, this is like also our Zhao Sifu and include me also. I think we all should make our self-reflect on whether we still have the diligent heart and like this, do this kind of frustration when we feel uncomfortable, whether in the physical condition or the like 身心灵 or the spiritual unhealthy condition. We still practice as before, like, still keep our aspiration, keep going to do what we should do, the right thing. I think this is like, we want to gain wisdom, and we should learn from master. Whether she was feeling well, and then she still keep doing the thing to show as a role model for us. So as we know, Masters is already 9 years old, and then she's only 8 after she had worshiping the Buddha every day. This is I read from the article from Zhao Sifu. So if Master she doesn't do any worshiping to the Buddha, maybe she will not, maybe it getting less and less, or maybe, I think this is kind of a mental diligence that Master show us, that, she don't want to let herself to just like, just like 松懈. Yeah, I think this is kind of like, even though for the beginning 5 disciples who follow Master in the early days, so they also took our Sangren as their role model, and they also follow Master. They would not dare to eat without doing the morning classes. Yeah, I think this is like to show, especially for Chu Sifu, before she passed away, she was very, serious sick. She still want to act the action like what Master did to show her. And she say, Master didn't do this, I would not do that thing if Master did not do. Like this kind of like show the way she really following Master steps very tightly, and then like, firmly. I think this is the persistence. It's because the morning or the evening class is the basic task for we as a practitioners, as a monastics, and I think this is part of our duty as well. So this is like have to keep reminders that why I want to be a monastic, and why one day I'm a monastic, I'm a monk, and I own nun, and I think I should try to let myself to do the thing that which is right to do. So, and Master she also mentioned that her strength comes from the diligence of her disciple. It's just like every one of you who still keep continuing listen to the Dharma, wisdom and Dharma, whether you are from the sources you're getting from internet, or from the cell phone, or from the TV, or anywhere, or as well as you still keep listening to Master's teaching with the reverence, with respectfully. I think this is the strength that you can't see, but I think Master can feel that. I think she's always told herself, I cannot give up herself, and then she says she have to keep herself as the young people. Yeah, she have to be like always diligent. So therefore, I think we must awaken ourselves, initial aspiration, and we still continue attending her morning Dharma teaching, or listen to the Dharma every day. So this is like inheriting for Master Spirit that we can copy from her. I think as as a Master, we know, especially at her young age time, Master should have a congenital heart disease. So the followers of Master, like Durham and the others Master, who they will sleep on the floor of Master's room, since they will accompany Master. Sometimes they will sleep sleep on the floor and accompany Master. And since they began to follow her, just in order to be close to Master and to maintain a vigilant mind, because they say Master's heart disease attack will usually occur before dawn in the morning. This is like 发作，就是在清晨. So the others followers of Masters, they were particularly very cautious, and then they will have to doing this so far for more than at least 60 years. Like the Rong who follow Masters from the beginning before we start off establish the Tzu Chi Foundation. So this is not only the practical care, but also a concrete manifestation of respecting the master, and we are showing the respecting the teachings from the master. And now next I move to the other story, which is I want to mention, not the, of course, is related to Brother Xiaochen, who worked as a master's professional photographer, or the so-called the cameraman for more than 21 years before he was passed away 8 years ago. And then what I want to share was his so-called his apprentice. Am I right? This is a Xiao Tudi. And then this small, I just want to say is like we never underestimated any small thing, include children, because they can, once they grow up, they can do amazing, great business, or maybe great things and great job. So this is like I want to say, because this Chen En, he now was nearly going to be graduate from university soon, and then when he was 6 years old, and he was follow Brother Xiaochen to learn how to operate the big camera machine, and the video shoot and all those things. And then he learned this from a Brother Xiaochen. And the Brother Xiaochen, he also like fosters talent, or maybe we so call like 培养人才, nurture talent, future talent, while they are still as a kid, as a children's childhood. So never underestimated, because let's take a look. Even though for master, she also say she also pay respect to the children. She will listen to children's talking, and then she will give them some guidance, and she also can learn something from the children as well. Even though there's one day, master said, after the Chinese New Year, in the morning assembly, master say, this is like a small little kid who carry a big camera machine, and then around board, and then do shooting. And then this is the conversation between master and Chen En when he was about 6-7 years old.
尤其是刚刚也看到了一个小朋友，他是幼儿园的，叫做陈恩呐。我看到他呢抬着照相的架子有模有样啊，我以为他是好玩的啊。有吗？有耶，小摄影师啊。有没有？好啊，就是他现在就跟着学生，你的作品拿回来给我看。教育是很重要啊，让孩子们知道付出每一天的生活内涵，如何对人，如何做事，要让他小的时候呢，不只是教他玩这样空过人生。同样的，这也是玩什么？玩真的，他都在做啊。所以呢，看人生有这么丰富的人生，所以我们善念要时生啊，那这个智慧呢就会日增。咱那些细汉都安尼好该累积呢，每一个动作，每一念头都是善的。那假如能这样，善是时生智慧呢就能日增，这实在是最好的教育啊。
So I just want to say, you like master, she also she gained her Dharma wisdom, the words that came from masters. Actually, she also showing us that she gained the Dharma wisdom from it, sound the reverence to everyone, even though for the children. The next day, after she met this small little Chen En, and then the next day morning, and then master, she gained a wisdom, because she paid respect to the children, and then she knew that this little boy, she was seriously learn to how to operate the camera, not because of play with the playing kind of things, attitude. And this is like must also pay. She never underestimated any children where they can give us some teaching, a big teaching as well. So it's the same. Like Xiao Chen, he start to train Chen En when before he was enter the elementary school, and now this little boy, small cute boy, and then now was grow out, and then he was getting graduate soon, and he was going to make a big contribution to the community, and also he already take the commitment that he want to follow his the mentor teacher Xiao Chen Shixiong, and to continue to be like focus like this is like the camera or all those things, and still as a hobby as him still carry on until now. And then he was joining the 3-in-1 camp trip, the Sanhe documentary volunteer, and then he also took part of this as well. And then so just like we never know, the small little boy one day, just like the Bodhisattva Neos Lighting say, I never I will pay respect to you because one day you will be a Buddha. It's just like when you look at the small children and you give them teaching, you care for them patiently, and you give them good guidance. One day they will do a big contribution for the society and be a good guy. So one day it's just similar to this kind of things. And now let us move to another scenario, which is I want to let you to listen the song for a while.
不必问国家和民族，不必问彼此的姓和名，为了挽救宝贵生命，我愿意把骨髓相赠。这样的机遇多难逢，这样的贡献多荣幸。为了挽救宝贵生命，我愿意把骨髓相赠。
Okay, so I think this sounds like Jackie Chan. It sounds like, but I just want to make sure maybe one day. But let me show you. This is when you know, this is a public service advertisement for bone marrow donation, and this small video clip will become an overnight sensation after it's released on 94 or 97 something. So this is it give a very big how to say a command about this advertisement. So let's take a look about this one.
实际和我再找一个人，找到的机会可能只有1万美金。我们再替他找一个人，他得了血癌，现在只有骨髓移植才能救他一命。但是适合他的，能救他的那个人，1万个人里面可能只有一个。救人一命，无损己身。实际和我再找一个人，那个人可能就是你。台湾每年有这些需要骨髓专症的血癌病患，你是他们唯一生存的希望。
Okay, so when you see Jackie Chan speaking Mandarin, with the Cantonese Mandarin on the TV, saying to us, say, Tzu and I are looking for someone, and the person could be you. So I think please do not underestimate this 50 seconds, maybe with not even 1 minute advertisement. it contains the compassion and wisdom of our master, and also the innocence of a child who play the cast role as an ill person. And then this is also the aspiration of a patient and the true love of a friend, the enthusiasm of an artist. And there's a lot of touching story, including for this to get this advertisement. This is the story behind. Yeah, there's friendship and the life and death. Because I want to share this story to you guys, just because after I found out why Jackie Chan will agree to take this advertisement for Tzu Chi to calling people do this bone marrow donation database, like 骨髓见证劝水. And I was curious. And finally, I found like, oh, so surprising. There's a long story, but it's very touching. So this story is about there's a volunteer. Now she's a volunteer, but before she was just the normal Taiwan citizens. And then her father was passed away. Her father also a government official who retired and then passed away. And then very soon, and then she have a very close friends who also diagnosed leukemia disease. And then this volunteer, and she want to help her friends, her best friends. And then she have learned that Tzu Chi recently is going to launching a campaign to calling people to come to do the bone marrow donor donation database and 做资料库. And then she want to involve, be part of it, and she want to do her some the thing that she can do. So this is the story that started. And this kind of things because we can successfully to recruit the international superstar to become our new spokesperson for Tzu Chi call for bone marrow donation. This is the details like very touching and heartwarming and moving, like kind of a drama. And the sister, her name is Mei Yi. And then her best friend, as I mentioned, was a very outstanding lawyer who loved her life, extremely very intelligent and kind-hearted. But at her best friend's age of 38, and she was, very successful in her career and have a very happy marriage and live a very smooth life. But she suddenly fell into the life or death situation because the leukemia disease come to her. And then this was a very shock. This volunteer made her friends, and then she was thinking that maybe she can do something for her friend. This is how she and her husband are the first to encounter Tzu Chi at Taipei when we are going to have our launching events for calling people to do the bone marrow donation information center. And this is we're going to establish the 骨髓资料库 the 中心. So, and then this is how when she started to join, she willing to be a volunteer involved for this activity. And then she held a meeting at her home, and then to do some 计划, planning, and they start to do some kind of project proposal, and to do all different kind of activities and events and launch to the public. So after the day they have a meeting at this new volunteer sister's home, and then the son, who was only 6th grade, 12 years old, 12岁, and the son looked at her mom and was worried and busy on doing these things regards the bone marrow activities. And then her son spoke up to her mom, say, "Mom, you should ask Jackie Chan to shoot a bone marrow donation advertisement for Tzu Chi, just like Jackie Chan, he asked people to donate blood because now I'm going to show you before Jackie Chan make a firm advertisement for the bone marrow donation. Actually, Jackie Chan was helping Taiwan government to firm this, ask people to do the blood donation. So just take a look. I think maybe this is also regards to we never underestimated. Now you are children, but in the future you can help people, you can save life. This is what I want to say. Just like the Bodhisattva never slighting. I'm not there to underestimating you, because one day you'll be a Buddha. It's just like the advertisement that I'm going to show you, like brother the Jackie Chan calling people. You're not young, never mind, you're still children, but when you grow up, you can do some great job. This is, yeah.
哥哥什么什么？那你几岁？你们年纪都太小了，不能转学。好像你爸爸啦、你妈妈啦、你哥哥啦、你阿姨、你舅舅，好像成龙哥哥我就能捐血。我17岁了，我17岁过一点点啊。只要你年满17岁的，你就是下一位快乐的捐血人。那你们快点长大啊！
So never underestimate it, because one day they will grow up. So this is like, because the sister's son, he know that Jackie Chan have made a firm advertisement for calling people for blood donation. So he advised, he suggests his mom to say, why don't you call Jackie Chan to do another shooting for the bone marrow donation? So what happened? The miserable or maybe the impossible mission was become impossible, because Jackie Chan mother say, find Jackie Chan how? And then sisters respond very like to the child, and then the son say, you write a letter to him. And the sister say, write a letter? How can that work? How do you know that it won't work if you don't try? This is the son told to her mom. You can try. If you don't try, you don't have any chance. So never underestimate a children's words. 就是不要小看小孩子讲的话. Maybe they can also, can be a great influence. And now it's true. It does witness that the children can also do good thing and influence people, with the rise, a kind heart give rise in the thought, and then you can do some amazing things. And then of course, the sister, she say she really took this seriously from her son's words, and then she wrote a letter to Jackie Chan through some very funny process. I can share the article to you guys who can read Mandarin or Chinese word, and maybe ask them to do some translation in English. I'll tell you, it's very interesting. And there's a long story. So, but of course, this is the final that you come up. Before we launched this program, calling people for the donation of the bone marrow, 2 days before, we got this advertisement done, the filming completely, and then 2 days later, our 刺激 activity launched. 就是2天前影片广告好了. So they published in 3, as I heard from the news, is like there's a 3 major television do the broadcast about this advertisement calling, please help the leukemia patient. We need you. We're fighting you. You are the person that we need for. So this is a great job that happened. So, and then when the children, and even though for sisters, she have a 12 years old son, and she also have the 8 years daughter who act as a patient, illness patient, because they say if you want to get the real patient, the leukemia patient, to do the filming is very hard for them, very difficult for them, it's very tiring. So sister, she donate her daughter to cast the play role as a illness leukemia patient. 就是叫她自己的女儿当病人，血癌病人。So you can see, even though for children, she also can do some great job. So never underestimate everyone. Yeah. This is trying to pass the message that we have to act like the Bodhisattva of never sliding. We have to trust everyone, and whenever we encounter them with any kind of difficulties, conditions, and the conversation. But I think we have to solve the problem. So and the sister say, if you have a wish, you will have a power. So because the advertisement won the Academy Award for the public service advertising, and the more importantly is also enable the successful establishment for the Tzuji's bone marrow donation database. So this is the enforcement， 就是那个来强的推动力，the momentum to push to get more successful. And so this is like is telling us that when you have such a good thought, you should seize the opportunity and seize the moment and quickly assert it. So don't anticipate a lot of difficulties and set limits on our own self. 不要去限制我们的那个潜能。So I think the last but not least, it's just like for Sister Darling, as we know, Sister Darling, the volunteer from Mozambique, and then her journey in Mozambique to do Tzuji's mission is not really easy. But I think this is kind of like she and her husband, the two person. Of course, this is only I take them as a role model, but of course they do have a lot of great model that we can learn from. It's because they start from the initial one person, from Sister Dailing, one person, to now more than maybe 8,000 local volunteers. And how did she do it? And then Sister Dailing say that she just listened to Master's words, she respect to Master's word, and then she continued to learn and improve according to what Master's teaching. What Master say, and then she just follow. And then she often asks herself, if the Master was in Mozambique, what would she do? She would think about like when Master is here, when look at those poor people, what's the Master's action? She just tried to assemble like copy, like 效法. So I think she paid respect. She gained the wisdom from her respect, sound the respect to show her reverence to Master's teaching by words. So 就是法在精进中求. I think this is the same. So and then this is like I think Sister Chilling, she believe and follow with sincerity and the affection, and then to keep her determination to follow the Bodhisattva path. This is the thing. So before I end up, I think there's one. If there's no one willing to pass on the Dharma will be die out. 如果没有人要传法，没人传，这个法就会没有。So if there's no one willing to pass on the Dharma will be die out soon. So the Buddha were lamented because they who among the future sentient being like us will be able to continue the Buddha's seek or not. Just like Sangren, she grows older. As we as her disciple, we should also understand her concern of who will pass the Jingsi Dharma lineage and who will spread these formations into the worldwide. So I think this Master say we should learn from the chapter Lotus Sutra, Bodhisattva Never Slighting, when he went among people to serve, and then maybe some will look down on him, but he was always polite towards everyone and bowing to them with respect. If people despise him, threaten him to hit him or throw stone at him, he just moved a distance away and bowed to them and saying, I dare not slight you, for you shall all become Buddha one day. And Master said we can also apply this approach today when we serve many people through going and like kind of like from the good affinities, coming affinities with them, with where we're presenting offering to many future Buddhas. 上人说我们可以效仿常不轻菩萨，就像我们走入人群去抚慰。So this is like just example. Master say you can understand like we give all of ourselves and reach out to those in need or in the suffering. We can form good affinities with them and present suffering people as the future, as they will be the future Buddha. So we see how frequently the natural disasters occur nowadays around the world. And what can we do to help the environment? Is like we have to like return back to the normality. And Master say the only way is for everyone to uphold sincerity, piety, and serve others and the world with love. Just like whenever there's help, you go and serve them and help them. It's just like we are creating a better future, a better future Buddha. Like we are giving them teaching. 不计法与不为说法. And one day when there been peace, there will be a lot of people who gain wisdom because they are peacefully learn some good thing. So I think this is the message that I'm trying to share to you guys for today. And thank you for your time. And I hope you can catch my message that I'm trying to pass to every one of you, that we never underestimate any one of us, especially for the children. We have to pay patience and carefully care for them, give them good teaching, because one day they will be our future hope. And that's it for my sharing. And thank you guys for your time. Thank you.
感恩 so much to the Huang Shifu for sharing wisdom with us today and truly reminding us that wisdom is sought, yeah, by reverencing the teachings. 感恩 so much, the Huang Shifu. So maybe we can invite our brothers and sisters to switch on your video so that we can take a photo with Master De Huang. Okay. Yeah, I must apologize. Just now, I thought that Master is not joining us, so I invited Brother Johan to join in, share first. My apologies. Okay. Sister Lily, can you help us take the photo?
Yeah, taken already, sister.
Okay, 感恩，
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 感恩 Master De Huang.
感恩 Master De Huang. Okay, so from Master De Huang now, we move on to Brother Johan, who has been with us since very early just now, and he will share about the sufferings and hopes in Sierra Leone. Brother Johan, good morning.
Good
So good to see
morning.
you again. So good to see you again, brother.
Yes, so good to see all of you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for
looking forward.
inviting me.
Yeah, looking forward to hear your sharing. Are you in Taiwan
Thank you,
at the
sister.
moment?
Yes, I'm in Taiwan.
Okay. Just
Let me
finished the
just see
Buddha
if I
bathing.
can. Yes. Share sound. Optimize for video sharing. Share. Okay, there we
Okay.
go.
Yep. We're seeing your
Alright.
PowerPoint already. Thank you.
Okay, can you see me as well? Hi. So I'm using my phone for video because for some reason my computer doesn't allow video right now. So, oh, that should be okay. All right. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you so much, Master Huang, for that very inspiring sharing. So I would like to share a little bit about a recent trip that I made together with our sister Sarah at our department, and also Sister Deborah, and two members of the City USA 360 team to Sierra Leone. But before I come to to our trip, I would like to share a little bit about the history in Sierra Leone. So Sierra Leone is one of the least developed countries in the world, and there is a reason why it is so low on the development index. So let me share a little bit. So first of all, in 1991, there was a very terrible civil war that broke out in Sierra Leone. Over 50,000 people were killed, and over 2.5 million people were displaced by the violence. And what was so terrible about this was that the rebels, they would recruit child soldiers. They would force children to become soldiers, and they would train them to kill for them. So Sierra Leone is one of the countries where the child soldier issue was the biggest. Also, they also had this strategy of chopping off people's limbs as a way to cause people to feel fear, and to reduce the resistance of the communities to the rebels. So of course, all of this had absolutely catastrophic impact on the infrastructure, the economy, and the social fabric as a whole for Sierra Leone. So actually, I think we could definitely say that a big part of the struggles of Sierra Leone still today, more than 20 years after the end of the Civil War, is due to this civil war that happened. Back over 20 years ago. So then was going through a period of
I think we seem to have lost Brother Johan for a while. Appreciate everybody's
yes.
patience.
Sorry about that. I seem to have some issue with my internet today. Let me try to open the door. Let's see. Maybe this will help.
Yeah, we can see our slides already.
Okay, good.
We can hear you too.
Okay, great. Yeah, so after a period of some recovery after the war, the next shock came in 2014, when the Ebola epidemic spread to Sierra Leone. So during the Ebola epidemic, almost 14,000 people were infected, and almost 4,000 people passed away from the epidemic. And just like during COVID, the only way that they had to fight the Ebola was to shut down the country. So big parts of the country was shut down. And of course, this also strongly affected the economy and the society. Not least because the Ebola survivors, so about 10,000 people who had survived Ebola, were viewed very suspiciously by the society, and also a lot there was a lot of fear connected with Sierra Leone. So of course, they had tried to grow a tourist economy, and that work was completely reversed due to this. So now, 10 years after the Ebola epidemic in 2025, Sierra Leone is still in a very terrible state. Although it is a very peaceful country, it has good soil, it has lots of natural resources, diamonds, gold, different types of minerals, but the economy is in terrible shape, and people are hungry all over the country. So even, as you can see here, all 5 regions of Sierra Leone have over 40% food insecurity. They estimate that 4.7 million out of 8.2 million population have insufficient food consumption. So that is around 60% of the population. And they have this situation has only gotten worse in recent years. So as you can see from these charts, so the left chart shows the price of rice, and you can see how it has increased from 14 leones per kilogram up to 24 leones, so almost doubled in just 2 years, from January 23 to December 24. And in particular, it increased by 25% during last year. And this would be fine if salaries were going up, but they are not, unfortunately. So the purchasing power of people in Sierra Leone have decreased by 23% in the past year. So this is called terms of trade. So this measure that they're using here shows how much rice, how many kilograms of rice can be bought by a day worker, like a regular worker salary in Sierra Leone. Also, the country is still terribly underdeveloped. You have 82% food insecurity. So we said around 60% of people have insufficient food consumption, but the food insecurity, meaning that people do not know where their next meal will come from, is at 82%. The percentage of the population under the poverty limit is over 50%. The Human Development Ranking is 184 out of 193. So it's the 10th least developed country in the world. And the GDP per capita is only $758 per year. So that's $2.1 per day on average, the production of goods and services in Sierra Leone. So we're looking at a very, very poorly developed country. So Su Ching came into Sierra Leone in 2014 through the causes and conditions of a Sierra Leonean who visited Su Ching in San Dimas in California in 2014, talking about the Ebola epidemic that was unraveling in Sierra Leone. So this made the US headquarters take action. So they shipped instant rice, nutrition support, foldable beds, and medical equipment to Sierra Leone quite quickly in 2015. So that was the start of the partnership. And as you can see on the right-hand photo here, there are 3 logos. So this is Caritas, Su Ching, and Healy Foundation. So these were the 3 starting partners in Su Ching's interactions to Sierra Leone. On this photo, you can see here, it's Steve Famba, the short young man who is standing second from the right, is Steve Famba. And then on the right of him, you see a tall, very handsome man whose name is Ishmael Charles. So Ishmael Charles is still he has been working with us ever since then. He is very dedicated humanitarian, and he is also a disciple of Master Dharma. He has watched a lot of Master Dharma, listened to Master, and he also visited Su Ching in Taiwan in the past. So actually, I would like to here plug in this book that he has written. So he was actually a child soldier in the Sierra Leone civil war. So he never shot anyone. He never used his gun, but he was forced to carry things for the rebels. And the story is really frightening, but it's also a very, very inspiring story. So I really recommend to go to Amazon, search for Child Soldier to Humanitarian by Ishmael Charles, and to buy the book. And it's also a way to support his ongoing work for Caritas and also his own foundation that is called Sick Pipin, meaning sick child. They're helping Sierra Leonean children go to India for medical procedures. So that's just a little plug-in, a little parenthesis. So in 2016, Taiwan started sending rice to Sierra Leone. First time was 200 tons of rice. So this was the second year of Tzu Chi's assistance. Also, we had big drives of shoes from the Philippines and also from Malaysia, and also secondhand clothing from Taiwan. And this was also the first time that Tzu Chi USA visited Sierra Leone, and also Sierra Leone partners visited Taiwan. In 2017, there was another very terrible disaster, a mudslide that completely destroyed parts of Freetown due to very heavy rain and deforestation of the hillsides. So this location was right under the hillside, but of course nobody saw this enormous mudslide coming. Over 1,100 people were killed, and over 3,000 were made homeless. So this was one situation where Tzu Chi also assisted in disaster relief. We've also, over the years, we've assisted. Every year there are fires, especially in the slum areas. There's flooding every year. So we have also, apart from the ongoing food relief, also disaster relief is a very big part of Tzu Chi's assistance to Sierra Leone. In 2019, that was the last time that Tzu Chi visited Sierra Leone until this year when we went again. Of course, the reason why no visits happened in between had to do with COVID. And we also, before this time, we also added a fourth organization to our partnership and changed name to Partnering to Serve Humanity. So it's Healy, Caritas Freetown, and Leone Foundation. And we're using these vests with 4 logos on the back. So in 2020, Tzu Chi provided hand washing equipment and training, also hygiene workshops, and constructed toilets for Grafton Polio Association. Of course, on top of the food relief that was continuously ongoing. But starting from 2022, this relief work kind of started to shift direction a little bit from a big focus on providing relief from the outside toward empowering local communities. So from 2022, Tzu Chi started purchasing at least part of the rice as local rice purchased in Sierra Leone, rather than shipping all the rice from Taiwan. So this means that the rice will actually assist the communities twice. First, when you purchase the rice, you are providing resources to the community that grows the rice, and you are also creating impetus to the community to grow, to the country to grow rice. And then, of course, it assists the second time when you actually distribute this rice to the people and organizations that need it. In 2022, we also hired a local staff, Sister Margaret Bassi. 2023, we constructed a borehole in Grafton. So every single thing that I'm sharing with you has so many touching stories, but I won't tell all of them today due to, of course, very limited time. In 2023, we started a flood mitigation cleanup initiative, a quarterly cleanup initiative. Then in 2024, end of 2024, we started a community microgrant project, which came into effect this year. So it's only just started. The actual work has just started. And this is, to me, this is kind of the ultimate local empowerment. The local communities completely decided on what they wanted to do, and with a little bit of assistance in terms of how to write proposals, they provided proposals, including budgets. So this is capacity building of the local community and empowerment of the local community, because they are fully in charge of how they want to use this money. Very small money, only $3,000 per community. But because the community is in charge of what they want to do, and they have this very strong motivation to do it, so they're able to extend this money to do a lot of things. So we're very excited about seeing the results of this microgrant project. And we think if it's successful, that this can be a model, much stronger model than outside assistance. And I also have many stories about that if there is any time at the end, you can ask about, or I can share more another time. Then also in 2024, we did a 10-year impact assessment by researchers at the University of Sierra Leone to see what was the impact of Su Ching's work for the past 10 years in Sierra Leone. So I did want to share a little bit about flood mitigation cleanup. So in terms of three communities that we have very close collaboration with. So one is Crow Bay, which is very close to our office in Kingstown. All of this is in Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone. One is in Susan's Bay, which is another slum area, and then one is in Dwardark, which is a hilltop poor area, a hilltop slum area. So most slums are along the coast because that is the worst part of Sierra Leone to live in. So for the flood mitigation as well, we worked very closely with the local community as well as with the Freetown City Council. So we can see some photos from the cleanup activities. You can see how hard they are working to clean their community. We also provided fumigation as well as public service education on how to manage trash and how to deal with the garbage that we have. And we can see this incredible results both for small drainages and the larger canals, that they are so clean afterwards compared to before. And I think the most touching part was when we came to visit, we saw the football field, which in 2023, before we did the first cleanup, it looked like the image to the left. And you might not see very clearly here, but this is because there's so much mud, but you might, if you look really closely, you might see that this mud is just filled with trash in the mud. And they did this cleanup very, very carefully. And then when we came in February 2025 to visit, you see this very, very clean football field. And this was actually 3 months after the last cleanup activity that we held. So this shows this change in the behavior and attitude of the population. They can see that if they keep their community clean, they will have a much better environment. So by doing these cleanup activities, you're really helping to change the mentality of the population. Okay, so in 2025, February, we visited Sierra Leone after 6 years after the previous visit. So it was me and Sister Sarah and Sister Deborah. And when we arrived at the airport at 1 a.m., Brother Charles on the right and Sister Margaret on the left both met us, as well as a couple of other local volunteers. And so we went from the airport. Sorry about that. Here we go. When we went from the airport to by car from the airport to Freetown, we would see around us there is just complete darkness. So this is actually when we already arrived in Freetown. This is the center of Freetown, and you can see how dark it is. This is actually where Caritas and Healy Foundation have their headquarters. So this is right in the center of Freetown, and you only have a few spots that have lights because the electric grid is so poorly developed that outside of Freetown you have no electricity at all, and even inside of Freetown you have only electricity in certain places. So after a couple of days there, we visited our slums, so Crow Bay and Susan's Bay. And I would like to show you a couple of brief videos of this. So this is the welcome that we got when we came to Crow Bay. Are you able to hear the music? So it's drumming and music. I'm not sure if I'm sharing correctly so you can hear it. But you have drumming and music. You have this traditional devil figure that they will always be dancing when there are visitors coming. And walking through the slums, we would see the environment. So you see the amount of trash in the canals. So this trash, the majority of this trash actually has come down, flowing down from the uphill communities. But of course, some of it is also disposed by the people there. And you see, you can see a few things here. So one is that the soil you see inside of the earth, you have all this trash. And that is because this land has been reclaimed from the sea. So it's actually built on top of trash. So trash is the land that they are standing on, that they're building on. But you could also see there was actually very clean in terms of there was no trash on top of it. It was just the trash that comes from underneath. So we can really see that change of the community, how they are maintaining the cleanliness of their community compared to when we started in 2023. So we held a meeting with our the three communities, Crow Bay, Susan's Bay, and Dwarf's Ark, in Crow Bay. And they shared about, one hand, they shared about their gratitude to Su Ching especially for the flooding cleanup, but also for the rice relief that we've been providing. And they gave such hope, showed such hope for the future, especially with the cleanup being done with the microgrant projects, that they could really see that there will be change in their communities. Okay, So I wanted to show one more thing this is not in Crow Bay, this is in Susan's Bay. In Crow Bay, there are no public toilets, so there is basically no place for people to relieve themselves. In Susan's Bay, there is one public toilet building, which looks like this. This one was made by some youth. So this is where you would relieve yourself. And on the right-hand side, you see, so what we see on the left is the structure on the right. So basically they are sitting there and their waste will go directly down to the canal underneath. And you can imagine just how terrible this must be, what lack of dignity that we're talking about in the slum areas. So during our trip, we visited over 25 locations, including government institutions, slum areas, the city mayor in Freetown, a women's farmer association, 6 vulnerable communities. We had a partnership workshop, we had volunteer training, we visited orphanages, juvenile correction units, an Ebola school, nursing home. And this was throughout the country. So we actually traveled all the way to the north, all the way to the south, and all the way to the east in order to see the situation in the country. And of course, we visited many, many places inside of Freetown in the western area. So we met so many communities and had so many meetings. And when we came to Sierra Leone, the hope that we were bringing with us was that we would be able to gauge how ready the people in Sierra Leone were, these communities that we're helping, to become independent on assistance and to be able to stand up on their own. And every single community we visited, before we even said anything about this, they all brought up the hope that Tzu would be able to help to not just give them food. They were very grateful for the food relief, but they don't want just for us to give them food. They want for us to not just give fish, but to help them learn how to fish, to give them capacity building, skills building, and the necessary basic resources in order to get started. So every single location we visited, they wanted assistance, whether it was skill development or agriculture or to build or increase capacity for production. So I would like to show this video which talks about the farming initiatives in Sierra Leone. So this one, it's a few minutes. I think it will be just about the right amount of time. Oh, guys, can you hear the sound? If not, then let me re-share.
Yeah, there's no shared sound, Brother Johan.
No shared sound. Okay, so let me re-share. Share sound. Okay. Video sharing. Okay, and share. You need sound for this one. Okay, let me try again.
Okay, we can hear the sound now.
Australians
Okay,
are people
great.
who eat rice for breakfast, rice for lunch, rice for dinner. Most of the time when we eat, we don't eat because we want to be satisfied. We eat because we want to get full. That makes rice such a very, very crucial commodity.
In 2015, Tzu started providing food relief for Sierra Leone. And since then, we have been providing rice to a number of institutions. We've really seen the huge impact of the rice that we've been giving. It's not just a matter of filling people's stomachs. It's also a matter of freeing resources.
Today is our happiest day. Today, I'm not going to buy rice. I'm only going to buy fish, pepper, Maggi, and the other one to cook my food. If you have 5 or 6, 7 children with you, plus yourself, that 3 bags of rice, it will serve you for a month or 2, maybe. I want to tell them a very big thanks on behalf of all the women. They should continue to do it. They should not forget about us.
Every day, there are people who only will survive for the day when they go out to sell something. It's a daily economy. I get today, I use today, and hope that God will provide for me tomorrow. So we are not given the ability to save, to train ourselves to say, let's keep for the raining day.
In the very initial period of the partnership with Su Ching, we've actually always received 100% of the rice from Taiwan. Over the years, we started buying our own local rice that are locally produced, and we built relationship with local farmers, and we were able to get those local farmers to actually start selling to us. We're stimulating and promoting local economies while at the same time being able to provide the relief support to the people and families that needs help.
We visited a village in Cambia where there is a women's association of farmers, so it's about 300 women and 150 men. They have a huge piece of land and they're working very hard to grow a lot of rice.
We are very happy for the strangers they will come. Tackling women's farmers, we are not joking. First, they are not getting nothing.
Before I was broke.
Go, they talk to you, man. Say, pass, go behind.
When I was talking to my husband, she would say, get out there.
Go behind.
Go at the back.
What now? I'm talking front here. So I die for family.
So I will die in family.
This land in measurement will take as a 500 hectares. Well, every the year it comes to very clear. The year it not count boku water. We get around then 2,000 or 2,500.
During the war, we not get nothing. I call them man. I say, what would they do? How would they start with life? I say, well, me the sense I get for so now. Let me find who say place they will be able put rest 3 times for the year. The first year will begin, that year they God give you rest. Then woman then they say this money will not blood soul kind money like this. Well, what you don't change in our life? Go on. So then I been grass house. Now in they pull the grass house from the knock block now say them for change now they make zinc pan. But this sell what would they sell? Would they divide the money 3 times? 1 for we picking in school, 2 would they put your on a bank, 3 for the difficulties they what we can get, 9 would they reserve. 2 things what they can't buy rest of it, so instead to go on they can. But if they left one now, left take care of us.
Woman in power.
May God lift Tutti up more. Tutti.
I think this same solution can be done all over Sierra Leone. In the next 10 years, Sierra Leone will be able to feed itself.
This rest what would they sell? You don't give man then strength and power. So that they make it don't change your life.
In the last minutes, I'll share what is going on right now. So apart from our ongoing rice and multigrain distributions, our quarterly cleanup, and the microgrant project, we also starting wash projects in Crow Bay and Susan's Bay. So building toilets, showers, and water points. And also we started 2 agriculture pilot projects in 2 of these areas. So one is in Gendema, so that's the lady that you heard in the video, the interview with the lady, that was from Gendema, on the very southernmost point in Sierra Leone, and another one started preparing the land, and they are just sowing seeds right now, so that they to have a harvest during the rainy season. We also hired new 2 local staff. So apart from Sister Margaret, we also have now Aisatu and Saban, who both have a lot of experience with community outreach and project leads at Caritas, and who have different specialties, including WASH, environmental protection, or child nutrition, community education. Share with you how you can assist us. So, of course, the biggest part is to help spread the word. We need people within and outside of Su Ching to know about these projects, to know how hard the people of Sierra Leone are working. And also, of course, fundraising is always a big part of Su Ching's work. Without money, there is not nearly as much that we can do. And this is for all of you. If you individually, you yourself, if you're interested in helping with writing or research, then we are looking for people to help with Relief Web and also with publications. So if you are interested, please let us know. There we go. Now the slides were moving forward now for you guys. So yes, so if you're interested, please let me know, and we'd love to get your assistance with some writing or research work for our publications. So that is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much from all of us. And I wanted to end by saying thank you so much to Master Huang. I think our work is trying to do is exactly what you were talking about, to really respect every single person and their strengths for who they are, and not think that just because we are from this much more developed country, we know better, but instead let the local communities take charge of their own fate. So this is what we're trying to do in Sierra Leone. So thank you so much for this time. I don't know if there's any time for questions.
感恩 utmost 感恩 to Brother Johan
But I'm
for
very happy to service. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Johan, for this very eye-opening sharing about what Su Ching is doing in Sierra Leone in the past decade. So it's very inspiring, and we would really like to have the because the image is a bit blurred just now. How can we actually help? How can we actually participate and help in this endeavor? The Relief Web is online, is it?
Okay. So to help with Relief Web or publications, just let me know, and I will let you know.
Raising money, raising funds,
what
raising
kind
funds,
of write-ups.
raising funds, fundraising. If we are interested to do the fundraising.
Yeah, so I think spreading the word is the most important, I think, is to help spread the word, let people know about the work that Su Ching does in Sierra Leone, especially since it's a little bit different from many other places. It's not so much our own volunteers that are working there. We're working together with our partners and the community. And then when it comes to the Relief Web and publications, let me know, and we'll work together. We have a team that is working on Relief Web. So if you would like to join that team, then you're more than welcome.
Okay, so the Relief Web is the online, there's an online website, is it? Okay. So
yes.
for those who are keen.
Relief Web is an online website. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So that's where all. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Do we have any? Sorry, I think the line, I can't really hear you clearly. Sorry. Yeah. Are there any questions from the floor for Brother Johan before we end the session? Anybody want to know more about Sierra Leone? Okay. If not, then we want to thank Brother Johan once again, and we look forward to Brother Johan joining us again very near future to share with us what your Su Ching has been doing in Sierra Leone. Cảm ơn. So, all right, brothers and sisters, we have come to the end of our session for today. We thank all our sharers for the wondrous insights into application of the wondrous Dharma, and we thank all of them. Yeah, so thank you to all the brothers and sisters who could join us. So before we leave, may we rise and offer our 3 sincere bows to Buddha and Shangren. Please rise. Palms together. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. And a bow also to Shifu, Abut Shifu, who could join us today. Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn everybody for your great diligence. And all the best. Have a great weekend. Cảm ơn, Brother Johan. Nice to meet you, Brother Robert. Nice to see you.
Wonderful hosting, Sister Stephanie. Cảm ơn, Brother Johan.
Cảm ơn.